You worked in a few different settings now, very big center, very small, intimate, in the jungle, in the mountain.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could describe, if you can put it to words, your unique way of working and holding space and running retreat.
Yeah. So I learned with all of them. And I also did like different trainings. I did like some IFS trainings, internal family system. I did the 1-year training, compassionate inquiry with Dr. Gabor Mate. I did different learning experiences for a while with the diamond approach and the integration coaching. However, like all of these things, what I learned for me reflected all also back in my dietas, in my sama, and with my teachers. I think where I'm at right now, and it might be different when you ask me the same questions in a few years, it is really like following what I see and feel, how I see the energies, the life supportive energies I'm connected to, which the dietas opened for me, the perception, just holding it with a certain sense and feeling. But then also to see when certain energies are not flowing or someone is blocked because there's a lot of trauma arising, there's a lot of limitation, or there's the mind is holding something, creating some structure again and again, why the plant energies, for example, cannot flow through. Then I use these tools I learned in compassionate inquiry or IFS to support the person with how I say something or how I reflect something, or going down to childhood trauma, or asking certain questions, or doing some somatic, psycho-spiritual inquiry, or holding space to feel sensations in order that these life supportive energies can flow more through. I feel like my dietas are guiding me right now, mostly.
And what does that feel like in practice? Is that a sort of intuitive knowing in the moment?
It's an intuitive feeling and seeing. Like for me comes more and more, honestly, the seeing, feeling. And I think you have also a lot of intuition. What I feel with you, the sensitivity and the feeling and the sensing you bring in. And some people have that naturally. And sometimes, of course, our sama and the dietas, they help immensely, to bring clarity in that and trust in that.
Yeah.
And, some people have it also very natural, this seeing and feeling capacity. Yeah. When I guide people or a group, I phrase things in a way how I see them, that some people who have that openness, they resonate with it. They understand, they see where I'm talking about, where my words are pinpointing to. And some other people who just learned, like often like typical therapists who learn a lot of psychology, and they have a lot of different systems and a lot of different structures, they put what I've phrased into their systems and name it with labels, and then it gets really reduced. Then it loses their aliveness.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because all of this is outside of any structures and labels, and
it's just experience.
It's in the intuitive space in between us. It comes from.
Yeah, and it's an aliveness in the universe. In all these different dimensions of the universe, there is some aliveness which just flows. So it's an organism.
Yes, and as soon as you start to put labels to it, you create that separation.
Yeah.
Between us and it.
Yeah, and it shrinks.
Yes.
Into a mental idea. It can serve as a mental idea, but it's a different consciousness. Like I had recently this moment, someone in ceremony felt so much gratitude, and the heart was experienced as a light, as something very yellow, as something very big, warming, expanding, and we do ayahuasca to expand, right? To get out of structures, to get one, or to get in touch with this oneness and this consciousness or energies which are there. It was like a group setting. And I said to this person, like, remember as much. Can we recall? Can we invite it? Can you remember? And while you remember, making space, how did that feel in that moment? And then this person was like, yeah, it's yellow, big, warm. And I said, how is the ripple effect in your whole body? How is it feeling in your arms or in your shoulders or in your head? Or is it inside or is it outside of you? The person was describing it and was fully in it. So I invited the person to stay more with that. And then after a while, I said, and just do that every day. Do that every day. Connect with that energy of gratitude every day. And if there's something stressful, when you're out in life and you disconnect and you contract and you find yourself not feeling gratitude, take a moment and say, hey, how did that feel? Where is that energy? Where is that aliveness? How is gratitude alive in me? How does that feel? And it might get easier to recall it, to bring it back,
Yeah, it's in Sanskrit, the word is smriti and memory. And using, recalling the frequency of something like gratitude into your meditation practice, as it's expansive, it's opening. And
it's a frequency, the intelligence.
Exactly. And you call that into your field, to your being, to your space. And it comes sometimes with images or memories attached. And you can feel your whole body sort of opening, your heart expanding.
Yeah.
Sometimes my heartbeat quickens, with that feeling.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And in that moment, imagine you feel all that.
Yeah.
And in that moment, someone said afterwards, and it came from a good place. She wanted to help, but she said, there is a difference. You can cling on something or you can connect to resource. And I know there are some approaches, they call it resourcing, you can, exactly, connecting to resourcing. You can do resourcing, what is great, but don't cling on it. And she put it in that structure. And I realized, wow, she totally didn't get it, And I could see like that she took my approach, my wording, like the practice I had individually with that person, she put it in a system of clinging and resourcing, and the whole thing shrinked into that.
Yes.
And it was not anymore this frequency, this consciousness, this aliveness. It just shrinked together. And I was like, oh.
If someone wanted to come on retreat with you, where would they be? How big would a group be? How many maestras or maestros do you work with? These kinds of things.
So since 2018, I create and design and facilitate like the True Journey retreats. Maybe I bring in here, I have a vision and I have an idea and I have a piece of land now where I want to create like something for small retreats, but that's still in the future. And it needs some more steps. But so far, I don't have our own place. I'm always renting different locations for the retreats. We have a location in the Andes, in the Sacred Valley. That's also where I live. I love the mountains. I love the energy there, the fresh air. The Apus, the mountains are called Apus.
Wow.
Yeah, the Apus are also the masters, the mountain teachers. We had a place also on the ocean.
Okay.
Where we hosted retreats right on the sandy beach. Right now, the water came up and it took away almost the whole place, the Peruvian coast. But let's see, in the Andes, in the Peruvian mountains, the next retreats are planned. I had sometimes private ceremonies in my own home, but that's maximum for 3-4 people. Also, if someone wants something more basic or if someone wants something more fancy, we can rent the location for that. The groups are maximum 10 people. And the maestros I work with are all my own maestros. So these are the maestros I'm working with since 2016, right now 9 years. So we went through a lot of up and downs and we had a lot of different discussions. Like I'm not a person who says like, oh, all these Shipibo maestros are all perfect humans. They are humans like we. They have all the facets like we have. But the maestros I work with, they are good maestros. They are energy healers where I fully trust. I love my maestros. I appreciate my maestros. I'm so grateful. And with Juana, I host retreats since 7 years, and our appreciation grows and grows and grows.
And so when you're working with Juana and it's a 10-person retreat, do you just have the one maestra ceremony? Yeah.
Yes. I just have her. And I worked in the past also. I had retreats with Robertina and with Manuela. Robertina and Manuela I had sometimes together. Right now is nothing planned with them. And I worked with Papa Gilberto, but also right now is nothing planned because he's in his village and he likes to be in his village. But there might be again some changes.
And when you host them in your own home, 4 people, say, is that just with you or is that also with the maestra?
With the maestra.
With the maestra.
So far, I'm not serving the medicine alone. I really like to assist and work together with my maestros, maestras. I mean, they know so much. Because these older generation, they grew up in the jungle. They grew up without technology. They grew up without television. They grew up without money. They just grew up with the plants. And the maestros I work with, they started to drink medicine in times when there was still, when it was still not really accepted, right? Where it still was evil or they had to hide it. They didn't do it because there was the idea that you can make money with it. They did it because there was an inner calling. And as long as they are alive, I want to offer other people to learn with them.